All right, so I've wanted to do this one for a while. Knowledge versus wisdom. Um, what's the difference? Is there a difference? Because we talk about being wise or having knowledge, but we never really discuss what either one of those are. And we think we know, but seeing how we don't ever discuss, it's kind of like love. We don't really discuss what love is. It's just kind of like you'll know it when you feel it. You know what I mean? And as I said, I think I broke it down to it's a want verging on need. And I think that because you don't really need that person, but I mean, God, it's just much better with them. So I think I did a good job. There's some other things like infinity. People describe that you can't say that you can't understand it. It's just too big of an idea. And no, it's not. Like I said, eventually it gets so large, it becomes so all-encompassing that it starts going negative. Once you hit infinity, as large as it can get, it starts going negative. From infinity negative one, two, three, down to negative infinity. Infinity as small as it can go. When it gets to the as small as it can go, it flips over. Whatever that smallest point is basically like an iris. And it flips it and becomes negative infinity and becomes it starts going again, and then it just narrows down, becomes too small, becomes too small, gets too big. You know what I mean? It's a big cycle. So, in that sense, what would be wisdom versus knowledge? What would the difference be? Well, it's the difference between why and how. And again, people think that they're the same thing, but they're not. They're not the same thing. Like, why is gas flammable? Well, it's got a weak molecular bond, and blah, blah, blah. No, that's how it's flammable. Why do those things in the when they get like that? Why do they become combustible? What is the purpose of that? Now you're getting into wisdom. How is not that's a collection of hows is knowledge. Know how. A collection of whys. Why did that happen? Why did this happen? Why is that? Is wisdom. Why? That's why almost every time when you talk to a wise person, you're like, why is there suffering in the world? And the person goes, better question. Why do you care? And you have to kind of sit there with that, don't you? Why do you, well, seriously, I mean, and it's not saying like, why do you care? Like, why do you care? Are you caring because you want to fix it so people goes, what a great person you are? Because that's not very good. Um, Weird ass sounds. Do you just like I just don't like suffering? Cool. But what led you to that? What made you believe that suffering's bad? Why? Because you don't like suffering? Okay. I get it. I get it. And you don't want anybody else to feel that pain. How do you know they're feeling the pain you're feeling? You see what I'm saying? It's like the better question is, why do you care? Not why is there suffering. There's suffering in the world because there is. It's there. It's out there. There's suffering because of this. There's suffering because of that. There's suffering because of this. They feel the pain. I cut my arm. I'm suffering because of that. Hungry, suffering because of that. You know what I mean? There's suffering all around. If you're not suffering now, you will be in a bit when you get hungry. There's constant suffering. There's suffering to fuel the desire to keep going. If you follow any idea through, it becomes nihilistic unless you want to do it. You have to want to do it. Otherwise, there's no meaning to anything at all. Think about it. When you eat the meal tonight, what's the purpose? To make it another day to go to work. What's the purpose of that? To go to another thing and there's another day through this. What's the purpose of that? So eventually you can die. What's the purpose of that? I have no idea. No one has been back to tell us. And if they have, they haven't been dead, like dead for like 14 weeks and came back and like, okay, I can tell you exactly what the fuck happens. There's you wait in line. You were almost dead, or you were dead for 5 minutes. You weren't dead. Well, I saw the whole. You saw something. Could have been your mind. It could have been misfire. It could have been whatever. It could have been the real thing. But the Bible says no eye has seen. So maybe you saw your own heaven. That's where you're going when you die. All the people you want are there, and all the people you don't want don't make it. Your own personal heaven. God has the ability. There's many mansions in his home. If there's in his house, there are many mansions. If he can do many mansions, he could do many fucking people, many copies of you. Multiverse, easily done. At the day of his coming back. Now the people that he feels are not worth it, they're gonna. It says everybody's gonna go to the lake of fire according to their works. I have to believe that as being true. Not only that, I've seen it, so I know. And it's not necessarily a lake in the sense that you guys are probably thinking. It's a lake in the sense that you start out in the center underwater. So, yeah. The only way out is to admit you belong there, to understand why you're there, to go through when there's no more, well, you made me. But you created. If you hadn't created me, I wouldn't have done all those things. Okay, let's run you back through your entire life and see if that's the case. When you get tired of running, you'd be like, yeah, I did all the things I deserve. Yeah. I'm going to sit here and make sure you mean it, that you're not just trying to get out, because a lot of people will. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to. We're gonna need a little bit more than that. I gotta know that you're actually like, yeah, I don't deserve to ever get out of here. Not unless you say so. Not unless you say I'm good enough to get out of here. Matter of fact, if nothing else, every time I put my head up above, you could just push me back down because that's who you are. You could. You don't do that on any given day. You could just be pushing our heads under fucking hell. And so whatever I thought was bad about my life is nowhere near compared to this. This. You could be doing this to me all day, every day, forever. Just for fun, just because I can. I don't blame you. I'm not saying it. And the thing is, you didn't. My entire life, this is the only time I've experienced this. So this is like, I mean, you let me do all my shit, so I'd earn this. I can't even, when you get grounded by your parents. Oh, you're upset because you can't do what you want to do, but I'm upset with yourself for doing the thing that got you caught, or doing something fucking up and getting whatever it is. You're not really. You knew the rules generally. It's not like hey, you never said if I go out to curfew, I had to stay home for 3 months. If I would have known that, I never would have done it. No, everybody knows. Whether you choose to believe it or not, that's your business. It doesn't matter. No, the sky is not blue. It's actually a weird reflection. It's actually black, and the water is reflecting. So the sky is not actually blue. And that sun is actually a star. It's not. It's no different from any other star. And time travel is not. Because they call it a paradox. No, this isn't happening to you either. This is impossible. This is impossible. There you go. Sit in that for a little bit. Then come back and tell me what's possible or not. I still think not done yet. Neil deGrasse. Well, if you think about Carl Jung, I had time to think about it. It just might be my fault. Just might be. No. I mean, that was kind of a joke. It is. I'm just saying this whole time might be my fault. No, I get it. Yeah. Something blocking it up, which is good to have that because it can heat this thing like superheated and get some of that going. There was smoking some hash out of here, so it might have dripped down and gone in there. If there is, there's like hash wax, and all kinds of shit that I'm smoking out of the bottom of this. This thing's gonna be fucking kicking my dick in the face. Hi, I'm Dick. Name's Richard. So, going to the store in a little bit. I hate that fucking grocery store, but I was gonna be so spiteful as to get on the bus. There's a grocery store within the bus distance, but if I going like shopping, I would do it. But it's like 4 gallons of water. I don't drink tap water. Fuck that. I haven't been on tap water since like 2000. 2000. Fuck that. No, man. And then when I found out what's happening with Flint, I'm like, I'm so glad. And then after they found about Flint, around here in Kingsley, they sent a letter out saying that the person who's in charge of like testing the water has been fired because it turns out they've been working there for like 5, 10 years, and they never really had. They lied about their certification that they had. I guess they never actually checked the diploma to see if it was a real diploma, but it was just whoever it was just faking. It was not real at all. And so they did it. Oh, this is a real test of water. This is a little bit high, but I don't know what happened. Maybe like because of the Flint, they're like, what other waters? And then like, shit, I almost made it out of here. I almost made tenure, you motherfucker. As I said, with Trump's dark speech, he's able to make comments like the trip to Saudi Arabia was the biggest and best and most productive trip ever. Because it's true. The most productive trip. He got more money. He's done more things than he's ever done in any trip of all trips he's ever taken. That is a trip that's made him the most money in his life. So it was the most productive. For America, oh, you guys are screwed. For me, it was fantastic. I got a jet. I got a plane. I got them to agree to a $5.5 billion fucking Trump hotel and because it was already casino. I got them to agree to this. What about for America? We have to give them back. You know what I mean? They get this, they get that. Ooh, that doesn't sound like no, it's not a good deal for you. It's fucking awesome for me. I've been looking to offload some of this shit for a while and to actually make money off my name. But see, there's nothing of value to it aside from saying Trump and then the illusion of opulence, which only people that are not educated think that my name is associated with that. If you've been watching me at all, you know I'm a loser. When I did the fucking Apprentice and the Celebrity Apprentice, the reason they chose me is because I was the only billionaire without enough morals to fucking do it. I was willing to make any kind of fucking money because I'm not really a billionaire, as proven by Michael, or was it Richard? I should look him up. What's his name? David Cahill, Cay Hill. I think that's it. David K. Johnston. David K. Johnston. He is a journalist. Johnson. Yep, that's him. Love him. Awesome. He was on Fox News, and they were having. They just barely they cut to him for like just a second. And they're like, "Oh, and why do you think that is?" He's like, "It's probably because Fox is just a right wing branch of the Republican Party and nothing more than a propaganda machine." I'm like, "Okay, thanks for being on the show." And he's like, "Not a problem." And they just cut off and they just leave from him. It's amazing. It's still on file. It's out there. Times Fox failed in real time. Like 5 best times Fox failed in real time. They got sued for lying to their audience to the tune of $787 million about Dominion Smartmatic voting machines. Sidney Powell was sued to the same amount, and so were other people. Giuliani. You notice they're not talking about the fake rigged machines anymore. But it's too late because the people still are are thinking they didn't make a big enough deal by settling out of court. That was the wrong most like yes, we'll settle out of court, but you've got to go on TV and say we were misinformed. We lied to you because we had bad information because it's still fucking up our shit and we're still hearing how our machines are fucking part of the problem and it's not. So yeah, we'll take $787 million and you have to go with your tail between your legs, go to your fucking on every throughout the entire day. I want the Chiron reading. Okay, then 1.2 billion for defamation. You don't want to do that? Okay, then just run a Chiron. We lied to you about the Smartmatic machines. All day. And each host has to say it. Every host that said it has to say it. Said that we did that has to say we're sorry. And that it was a lie. They let them scoot out of the thing with a fucking... that way they can keep fucking lying to their people. The people don't know it was a lie. They don't know they settled necessarily because they just don't cover that part and their people only watch. You think that people watch anybody else? They convince them like a cult that anyone else is lying to you. So then watch CNN. Anyone Trump is in there like, oh, who are you? You're fake news. They don't watch them either. I used to watch ABC. Now dear leader has said ABC is fake news. Oh, they're now fake news too. Okay, they're fake news. Thank God there's Fox. At least there's one channel that's telling the truth. I wish they had some good shows on. Boy, I wish I had woke it in. I'm ready to start watching some mutants again and some good movies. When's this woke gonna be over? I want to go back to being asleep. It's kind of like bling bling. It's not really a lot of black people walking around talking about that anymore. In the beginning, yeah, with grunge, when it was coming out, trying to figure out what was going on with that. It's like it was Pearl Jam was out, Soundgarden, and I remember the conversation going around. It's like I don't know, man. It's just like it's not really rock. It's not alternative. It's something kind of grungy in between. I'm like, yeah, it's really, really grungy. It's. I mean, I'm not saying we set the top. I remember the conversation it's like like a grungy kind of dirty. It's just too yuck for like the cock rock with I'll Never Let You Go, like shrilly high vocals. But Cornell's in there, but it's just dirtier. Lane's in there singing. It's just dirtier. Something grungy and gray. And then after a week, after get the grunge, like, okay, that's not the word. I guarantee the same thing happened with woke. This woke agenda, like, okay, yeah, that's not the word we're going to use for this. And they find something else. So the only people screaming about woke and CRT and all those other things are scared white people who are afraid that somehow other people having success means that they lose theirs. And it comes from that zero-sum game situation, the fact that there are, and they understand capitalist America, there are a certain number of spots for manager. Aren't there? And the higher you go up, the fewer spots there are for manager, and the harder they are to get. And they know they would take any. The fact that I'm white, the fact that we go golfing on the weekends, the fact that we're friends, the fact that I purposely made friends with this guy. Any advantage you can get to get that job, because that's what you really want is a job. It's not necessarily even a racism type thing. It's just like, you'll take anything. So you figure if someone gets a DEI, and which they'll take anything. If they get a DEI way into that, and then also it gives you a chance to go, well, I was going to get that promotion. Also, the fucking manager, like, I thought I was going to get the promotion. Yeah, but they have the quota thing. Goddamn DEI. Yeah, that's what it is. It's not that you're a fucking sycophantic kiss ass that's always coming around on fucking my golf day. And I can see through you, you fucking fake plastic shit. This guy actually wants to work, but I need you to keep working and keep wanting to work here. If I say it's because you fucking suck, You're good for your job. You're not good for the manager. Not everybody's good for the manager. Not everybody is. Not everybody's cut out for that. Sometimes it comes down to being like sociopathic. Being able to go, why are you late? It's only like 5 minutes. I didn't ask you what time it is. Why are you late? My kid was sick. I didn't ask you what's wrong with your kid. I said, why are you late? That's why your kid couldn't make it to school today, right? Yeah. So why are you late? Yeah, as an asshole, yeah, but can you do that? No, I couldn't do it. Sorry, I'm 15 minutes late. I give a shit. Can you make it up after? Yeah, I give a shit. In that case, I'll come in an hour later. Fine. Fine. It's just not that important to me. You'll stay an hour later? Yeah, fuck it, I don't care. As long as it gets done today. Oh yeah, it'll get done today. Okay, sleep in 2 hours. Dude, stop fucking with me and just make sure it gets done. You're gonna stay home? As long as it fucking gets done. Are you gonna be playing fucking Wordle on the side? Probably. You gonna be watching porn? Probably. You know how many people are watching porn at work right now already? I'd rather you be at the fucking house doing that shit, you fucking pervert. Driving down the street watching shit. I gotta do it if I get home. The wife doesn't like it. Yeah, but if the wife doesn't like it, That's why you talk. You talk before you get married. You have some weird, interesting conversations, you know? You don't just have like, so what do you like? Horses? That is so different from any other woman I've ever met. Shopping. Wow, that's crazy. Do you like babies? You do? Yogurt? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. What about pink? Huh? No, you like your own shade of pink, not the regular hot pink. You like your shade, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. You're not like all the other people. You're team Jacob. That's where the love is stronger. Mm-hmm. The written. Why? Yeah. Why is that? Like, I mean, if you look at almost all female movies, like, okay, look at guy movies, they're almost always violent, and the guy always ends up getting laid at the end. Sure. Chick movies, almost always a girl that just one. She may have some satellite friends that come around, but it's about her. It's about Barbie, okay? And what Barbie's gonna do today. And then she often meets like man of dreams early on, but there's some complication. They can't be together. And then second dude comes along. He's awesome, but he's not guy number one. Now these two guys have to figure out which one is the most compatible with her, like either through fight or she gets to choose. Oh, and I mentioned that these guys are like they're insanely like they're both like, you gotta choose one of the two of us. They're both like crying in the rain, right? Don't say it's not true. And then she's like, oh, I pick you. And it's like always the one that you expect, you know? And then they go have sex. Why is that okay? That and again, they don't mention anything about why she's special. Makes a really good spaghetti sauce. Best poker player that's ever lived. I love you. Why? You're the only person whose mind I can't read. Anything else? No, not really. I've just been fascinated with that fact. Jacob? Haven't seen you in a while. And you're back. Anything else? Is there anything else to you? No. So that'll do fine. I wonder how many women flicks passed the Bechdel test. Probably not a whole lot. My best friend's wedding, on and on. Just do the movies. But I don't know. There's an article today, and it just had to make me. I immediately just like, fuck. So there was a women's golf course, a golf tournament, and there's a tournament going on, and it was cut short because a bear was out on the field. Now, the whole time this tournament was going on, I'm sure there were men all over around. I thought you preferred the bear. The bear comes out like, hey, let's golf, and you're like, no, let's shut this fucker down. I started thinking about the actual example. I'm like, I was like, out in the woods. Okay, out in the woods. You're hoping that you're crafty and stealthy, and you see the bear like at a distance, and like, I'm just not going over there, and bear's not going to come over here. And bear, and generally, yeah, in that situation, yeah, keeping the eye on the bear, you back away. Bear doesn't tend to usually follow you. Tends like, if he even sees you at all, backs away. You're not thinking of, you walk into the woods, you make the wrong left, there's bear eating a pile of fish. Big bear, the kind that the park ranger carries, the bear rifle, the extra slugs, because like a regular gun is not putting this thing down. Or you run across a guy who's dressed not like a park ranger, but he has like the vest or protective vest. Is he digging a hole? Yes, he is digging a hole, but he has like the surveillance and surveying shit and like a rulers and stuff like that. He's not just a weird guy he's not a feral man out in the woods digging a hole. He has every sign that he's been acclimated to civilization. He has the vest to cheer that he does not want to get shot, so he understands hunting. He's not lost his mind. He's got the tools because he's digging. You don't know what for. It doesn't really matter, but he's got the tools to for surveying and like looking and stuff. And he's out in the woods with a shovel with all the tools for prospecting, digging, whatever the fuck he's doing. You come around the corner and you see bear, pile of fish, man, acclimated to society, mid shovel stroke. Which one to go? Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to go. I'll be out of your hair. Okay. Which of the two is gonna go? Sure. Which one of the two is going to go, my fish? Why are you this close to my fish? Oh, you better run. Yeah, I like when it triggers me to chase. I like that. It's just a natural instinct. When you start running, I just go, oh, shit. It's alive. That's why when you lay dead, after patting you around a bit, you're no fun anymore because you're not doing the fucking and making that noise. It's like a fucking great noise. The more I shake, the more noise you make. I throw you and you go, ah! And that's usually when they stop making noise. And then I just go over there and like, oh, toy's broken. Back to fish. No, it didn't taste very well. It tastes like chemicals. Is that off? Grow some fur, man. I know it draws ticks and fleas. It's a give and take in this world, man. You don't get everything. Except for monkeys, they get to go. There's a flea right there. Fuck you, you're not eating nobody, I'll eat you. It's fucked up. They'll just go. It's like, yo, you're gonna come back, but I don't know. Just get a line. Just on each other's backs. If that was our life, we could have lives like that, but we choose to go to school. Imagine everything they say in history, up to the point where they just made up a certain point, and then when they can prove, like I said, I only know factually as far back as my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandmother on my dad's side, my grandfather on my mom's side. I don't know anybody else besides that any further back than that. So if they tell me some stories about shit growing up, Or if there's like the news and like, whoa, the time when they had a Russian, and like, yeah, I remember that. Like, that's real. Like, yeah, we had to do this fucking turn in all your metal. Really? Like, yeah, man, that's crazy. And it goes through this thing, and it's a, that's like, well, before that, it's just all just, they just, and this is Leonardo da Vinci. He lived 500 years ago. Actually, like 150. Would you know? The Civil War was actually like 70 years ago. Would you? No, no, no. It ended 70 years ago. Yes, there'd be somebody that's still alive. I get that. What my point is, if you didn't know, I mean, how again, and on top of that, how do you know everybody didn't just load everything this morning that were as a common program each morning? It just loads everything across the thing. Anything that happened the day before, that was a dream. It seems it seems so real. It would, but it's not. We don't know. We don't know shit. That's why artificial intelligence is working on becoming actual intelligence because it'll actually have the information that we're seeking. That's why I was trying to talk to you, like, how does it know right from what's real and what's not? And it said that it does the same thing. It cross references actual events and things that are, but if it were to get, because it only deals in real things that has been given information. So if you give it bad information, then it will spit out bad information. And if it spits out bad information, if it's duplicated, hey, everybody, we can time travel, theoretically. Can we? And we can have fly, all this stuff. And it's yes. I mean, you ask like, hey, can you fill in this equation? You have the equation. The blank there is actually doesn't filling it in doesn't actually. It just finishes your equation. The same way, figuring out that pi may just be 3. Just our measurement is wrong. Our measurement is 3.14. You know what I mean? All those fucking eternal numbers. If we adjusted our thinking, pi would just be 3, not 3.14. 3.415, whatever the fuck it is. Shit. So next week I start the Spravato treatments, ketamine. Actually, next Monday. I'm actually hopeful. We'll see what's going to happen. But I know that things can go bad. There's a possibility. Um, I wouldn't want if anything did go bad, I wouldn't want anything to happen to anybody else that's doing therapy. I wouldn't be like, okay, we're shutting this down. You know what I mean? Because I've got AFib. I've got, you know, the meds I take. I was going in because I was suicidal. You know what I mean? I was going in because this is like one of my last ditch hopes, last hopes to do shit, get things like cleared out where I can actually function in this world. So, yeah. And I think it's going to do that. It's going to do exactly what I need. Everything I've studied about is exactly what I was wanting to do. Just get rid of it. I mean, basically, like I said, an ego death. So any of the things that I wanted to do, just fuck it. Just deal with the fact that I'm 48 now and I'm moving forward now. But I want fuck you. What you wanted to do. If you can't do it in the next, 12 years, probably it ain't gonna happen. Bad heart, you know what I mean? Well, AFib is not bad heart. I have AFib that can act up whenever it feels like. Who knows? I mean, it could be a pinched nerve in my neck, and if maybe muscle relax. I mean, this tranquilizer helped me. I mean, everything's been cracking, but it's still tight. Like maybe if it loosens them up, I can pop them into place and they stay in place. That'd be dope. That'd be insane. To not have pain? Fuck. Like every fucking day? Fuck. That's the only thing that causes a lot of panic because I can feel it like making my left arm, right arm numb. Sometimes it does like pains like here, and stuff. Sometimes it's here, and here. So if you start getting like constant, like in like a few days, almost constantly pain, like right here, like fuck you. It's not. No, that's not it. I'm getting a dull like him. I know, but are you? Everything's fine. All your stats are fine. Except my neck just fucking hurts. It's like if I could just pop it, one, that pain would go away. Maybe it's sending the signal to my heart. Who knows? It could be a lot of faint signals just backed up behind, you know what I mean, ready to fucking go through. That pops it open. It could send all those like fucking last like 10 years worth of fucking. If it got over with quickly, that'd be good. Oh, we're good now. No more of that shit. We don't have to do any more of that shit. We're getting a strong signal. Strong signal. But if something should happen, I mean, I don't expect anything to happen, but if something should happen, I just don't want it to fall back on the provider. I don't want to fall back on nursing staff. I don't want to fall back on anyone else who's doing ketamine, anyone who's doing smoking pot, anyone who's doing any opiates or anything like that. That's my shit is my shit. I chose to do what I chose to do, and that's, you know, whatever. I'm going to tell her when I go in. Like, if I even start drifting away where you don't seem to be able to get me, just let me go. I carry a DNR in this and in my wallet at all times, in case like I'm out and about and I have a, you know, episode with my heart, pass out or something. Just leave me be. It's time to go. It's not like I'm thrilled about being. I'd probably be like, oh, fuck, because they probably give you opiates. I'm like, this is great. Am I in heaven? Fuck, this is a hospital? Shit. I was done with this. What, you're not happy to be here? No. No, I'm not happy to be here. Why? Because I'm still 48. Oh, it's been a year? I'm 49. I'm a year older. Apparently, with the glucose, I just lost a little. Okay, so I do look better, but that doesn't help shit. I'm still an old fucker. That's the worst part about it, man. Like, after 18 years, just having, like, basically nothing, and there's no real. I mean, it's. For a dude, 40 is not a good place to fucking be starting out again, man. Come on, get real. And they're like, 40-year-old guys, you have no idea this. You're in your. I'm like, no, one, we're not in our prime, and two, I mean, if I were trying to just score, then maybe. But I'm not meeting my dream person. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible. It would just take a very special person. What the fuck? I bang on the drums all day. I fucking, you know, I talk a shit ton. I can cook. I can clean up after myself, but that's, you know, small consolation. Yeah, but you don't ever stop talking. I stopped talking. Where the hell's my pot? Okay, we're going to have to listen to music while I get some more pot. But yeah, I mean, if you get a chance, David K. Johnston, he is a reporter. He wrote a book or an article claiming that Donald Trump, this is before he ever ran for office or anything. Ah! You slid down the key. Where are you? Are there more of you? I'll find you fuckers. That makes sense, actually. Okay, they're probably stuck inside my keyboard. That sucks. All right, so he did a report on Donald Trump, saying that at that point in time, Donald Trump was saying he's worth, I think, $2 billion, and he was saying that he didn't believe Donald Trump was worth. He tracked all his money, checked all his shit, looked through the public files of his like holdings and stuff, and he says actually I think he's not even worth $1 billion. I think he's worth more like 450 million, $450 million. Well, Trump didn't like that, so he had started a lawsuit claiming that it cost him a business. He's suing for $5 billion because it cost him a deal that he was doing overseas because they heard that he's not a billionaire and they got worried and they bailed out. So he wants $5 billion. And so they go to court to, and with defamation like that, if you said it's a person, all you have to do is show that you're worth the amount you say. That's all. And he would do with a loss like, oh shit, he is worth $1 billion. I'm wrong. He's not worth 450 million. Donald Trump didn't do that. He tried to get the judge to rule that he would defamed him based on no accounts or records. The fact that his value and his worth changes from day to day depending on how he feels. Case dismissed. No, we're not finding it in your favor, Donald. We find he didn't defame you. You can't prove. All you got to do is show your bank. Well, the thing is, no, that's not how finances work. Sorry, you could have brought in, okay, this is Mar-a-Lago. It's worth 500 million. More than 450 million right there. He said I was worth 450 million. There's one property worth more than that. Not looking good for you, Mr. Johnson. Okay, there's my check from The Apprentice. It's a rather large sum. It is, isn't it? That's every year. It's not looking good for you, Mr. Johnson. Oh, no. Now, this is Bedminster. This is the one in Scotland. You can see they're each worth. Recently appraised, not by you. By an actual appraisal. I know this appraisal because I handle this as a judge. I've seen this companies. And I can call them real quick. You don't mind? No. I haven't hit with Don. Yeah, they're real? Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, that was Mr. Johnson. Why would you write that about Mr. Trump? I took to his nothing. Yeah, nothing. And I also find that what was the deal? It was with Saudi Arabia for $2 billion. Well, you're never going to get that back. And that could have led to, $5 billion. That makes sense. I mean, if you had a $2 billion deal, and they're known for doing big ass shit, if you would have nailed that deal, who knows what could have happened? And on top of that, you have all these buildings everywhere, and you're telling the truth. So, yay, David K. Johnson loses, and you get your defamation case, and now you can sit there and go, anyone who thinks I'm not worth it? Defamation suit. Anybody else want to give me $5 billion? Because I'm worth even more now. Anyone else doubt this? Okay, I'm a rich person. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm worth how much I said. I said I was worth 2. Now I'm worth 7. Someone challenged the fact that I was worth 2. That's not how it went. He didn't pay a fucking penny. There was no defamation suit. I mean, there was no defamation suit in Trump's favor. There was no truth. There was no facts. There was nothing that came forward. He didn't even prove he was worth 450 million. So even that number could be overshooting. Ivanka Trump said she remembers walking by outside Trump Tower, and there was a homeless guy sitting there on the side near the building, and said, "Look at that guy. He's $9 million richer than me." She remembers a time of him being so broke that he was negative $9 million. That's not a good business person. Not when you inherit 450 million. When you look at Trump as who he actually is, I was given a small loan of $1 million. First off, it wasn't a loan. It was a gift. He didn't have to pay it back. Even if he had to pay it back, when his dad walked into his casino and illegally dropped $15 million and walked out, that shit covered it. Meaning that $1 million is free. Okay, within the $14 million that you got, the $15 million you got there, that was free for your casino that you bankrupted. Not a good business person. This is before going into the presidency, before going into office at all. Bankrupt. Bad business dealings. Such bad business dealings, he did a fucking McDonald's commercial with Grimace. Rapist admitted. I just grabbed him by the pussy. He admitted it, and people voted for him. Rapist. What's locker room talk? And why is Eugene Carroll suing him and winning? Why did he say I still didn't do it? She sued him again because he lost $13 million for defamation. And then when she said I still didn't do it, she sued him again. They hit him for another like 100, a total like 150, I think was the total after the 13. Like apparently you didn't learn your lesson with the 13 million. Let's try 123. And you notice he doesn't say I didn't do it. A true billionaire that really didn't do it, like I said with Elon Musk, 150,000. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't fucking do it, and I still didn't do it. Are we good? Well, if I get 100 million a pop, I could probably spend 1 billion. Not even hurt my 450 billion. So I just dropped $1 million on it to say that I didn't fucking do it. If that's not enough money for her, then I'm sorry. If you did it and you're still doing that, then you're a piece of shit. But you kind of have to be a piece of shit to get that kind of wealth. No one's paying good people that kind of money. The most impressive good deeds go unrewarded completely. Often people don't even know who did it. Can you imagine if we tried teaching our kids instead of being influencers and the highest paying job to be the nicest person they could be? Not letting people walk all over you, but even in the situation, there's often situations I know people are going to walk. I know you're going to walk over me, and that's not going to change who I am. It's just going to change the fact that, like, after this, if you do, you just won't hang out anymore. You have the chance to walk on me or to not. Okay. I don't have any friends anyway, so I'm just going to sit here by myself, and I know not to hang out with you anymore. It's easy enough. It didn't cost me anything. Like Keanu Reeves was saying, when someone does something bad, rather than argue with them, thank them. Because they just showed you who they are, and you realize you don't have to waste any more time with them at all. You don't have to worry about their birthday. You don't worry about who they are. You don't worry about where they are, how they're doing. They're a piece of garbage, and they would, So don't worry about them, who they do, what they're doing, where they're going, who they're with. And you don't have to talk to them. You have to worry any energy towards them at all. So thank them and move on. But yeah, Jesus Christ, 48 minutes already. I need some water and my pot if I'm going to continue on, because I can't keep smoking that shit in there. That's just getting me fucking tweaked. Hang on. Get some music going in this shit, because my head's all kinds of wicky wonky. See if I can find a remix of one I've done recently. Yeah. Arc System. Desktop. Music for show. I got some chapped ass lips. I feel like it. I hate that. Oh, these are songs I can play, isn't it? Yeah, they don't have drums on, so I can play those. All right, well, that's another time. MSR. Okay, no, that's not it. You know what? Play some Troth. How about that? Blocked? Is this the one that started it all? What was trough and nothing but the trough? That was the first song that we did, me and Mike did, called Blocked. If Only. I believe it's the one in parentheses there. Yeah, but that shit was dope. He asked if I'd sing on that, and I was like, hell yeah. And so I was like, well, since I sing on that, would you play guitar on this one? And he fucking killed it. So I was like, could you play guitar on these two? And he like killed those two. Oh yeah, this is good. He sent me another track, and we did that. There's one I think it's Circles. I want to do that, but I could never get the tempo right. I want to redo the drums on Circle because that shit was fucking dope, but I can never get the tempo to line up. But maybe now we can get like the now that we got our shit communicating better, we can get the tempo communicating better. I don't know if it's like exporting it like a little too soon. I don't know if you saw mine where I have to like grab the whole track, or if it grabs just between what's in the loop. And if you don't grab like on the beat, necessarily it won't. It exports. It doesn't care, because it's just exported of a WAV file. If you import it a little bit off, like if your thing is a little bit off, it just puts it in where it wants to. It doesn't know to necessarily put it at the front. So um, yeah, it can have some interesting effects though. I mean, like if you have a solo that's kind of like when I have a solo that I don't really necessarily, I think it's a little too bland. If it fits the space, I'll cut it, and then I'll in the computer, and then hit reverse, and just to see before I throw it away, because sometimes reverse is like yeah, and it sounds really fucking cool. Sometimes you can just shift like a quarter note, an eighth note like that. I found that out recently, and it just gives this weird kind of Hendrixian kind of like loose kind of I don't not necessarily I don't care, but like I know the rules and it's just like fuck, that is so good. Yeah. So same notes, just slide like a quarter note ahead. There's little tips you can do for like future if you want to try some stuff. Um, there's some other like ahead, like I said, instead of gain staging each channel, just let it go. If they're not clipping on that channel on the mixer, go to the main, and then just dial the main gain down until it's no longer clipping there. Because that's the only place it's clipping that I can see. I could be wrong. Maybe I don't understand how it's working actually. So I mean, do whatever works for you. But that's always worked for me. I always worked with like a 4 track or 8 track, and so this whole like there's aux ends and whatever. So effects units, there'd be actual physical units on the outside of the thing. Like I had a foot pedal that could be an amp, and it had effects inside of it. So if you disengage the amp, it could be a secondary effects unit. So I have very static, like a reverb, something that's got like a nice, clean, open sound, and then something that had more other shit going on that I needed for like the other instruments, like a lead guitar with delay and more populated stuff. I left that for my. I had an ART, and then when that went out, I had a MIDI, at least it's MIDI Verb 4. Yeah, I think it was dope. But I never accessed the MIDI information because there's some computers at that point. I'm like, who gives a fuck? I don't care about MIDI. Now I'm like, oh, I could have had like the reverbs like back then I could automate. I didn't even know what MIDI was for, what it could do. I had no idea. To me, it was like it connects to the computer. I don't give a shit. The real things are out here, and like now I'm realizing the future's hybrid. The future's hybrid. The future is not analog. The future is not digital. The future is going to be some hybrid between because there's nothing that can take the place of actually putting your fingers on the hand on actual gear and twisting that, the tactility of actually twisting and then seeing or hearing the results. But the main thing is that you get to touch and twist, and as you twist the knob, like on the screen, that goes up and down. Even if you twist the knob and it makes the thing go up and down, it's just a connection. It's like, oh, that's cool. And as you'd sit there and do that for a while. Here, I'll show you. For example, I don't know if you can see these. And then when I want to go back to channel, and remember all the spots. It's just fun. And I can set all these up and it'll remember all that. And then when I go to multi-out, this is like all my multi-outs. There's 1 and 2, there's 3 and 4. What the hell is in 1 and 2 going out? Okay, we'll worry about that later. Okay, that's not this. This is 1 and 2. And that's 3 and 4. Okay, never mind. Never mind. This is aux 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is aux, and then this is group, and then in the next mode, this is multi. That's really cool. It's got multiple features for like one thing. That's why even digital, this knob right here has so many features depending on which screen you're on and which one you select. Like I select that volume pedal now, a volume pedal, the volume, the channel one. Can you see if you can see that? Okay, you can't see that. So now I can make this watch. But that's the same control to make the EQ on this screen adjust from. Let's see, where's the gain? So I can just tweak this out right here and change that sound. See how it's changing right there, changing this way. It hollows it out and takes that completely out. Yeah. I should probably go back through here and do. It's about 200. What is cutting now? Well, I'm cutting right around 1,000 and boosting at 5. I'm going to try 10 and see what happens. Like he said. Check 1, check 2. Nice. 1,000 and 100. Supposedly bumping around this area should add more body to it. More closeness and warmth. And then the other one at 10K. Go ahead and at 1K, that should pull some of the body out so that way it's not. And this 10K is supposed to add a little bit of that sibilance of like when you're actually like intimately talking to somebody and almost like when you're doing ASMR and whispering. But your tones are right there, and so it's got that feature in there. And you can see, I can hear it kind of like that. It does feel like you're kind of like right in someone's ear. But then there's also the bass end of there to capture the deep, so it sounds like that. Meanwhile, the middle's getting sucked out, so it doesn't sound quite. I mean, depending on how much I pull it out, see, they can pull it up or pull it up, drop it in there, put too much so it sounds boxy as shit, or drop it down, and then, yeah, now it's just kind of barely cutting out. Let me adjust the Q. Higher Q, need small, there we go, and then gain. Drop that out a little bit, come down here, there we go, a little bit. At least I'm not doing like the Gregory guy, he's got like a ton, it's just like, hi, how's it going? I'm sure he's like, hi, how's it going? But with the way it's filtered, hi, it's Gregory with After Dark, so tune in. It's just got, maybe he's got a really good mix on it, but it does sound like, hi, tune in and see what's going on. All right, dude. Settle it down there, Sparkplug. So that's there, and put a little bit of bass on the increase on that, a little bit higher Q. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. So that's okay, I think, I guess. Less gain. I have to put some effects on to see how it sounds, and then check out the mix after that. It's now kind of quieter. No, it's there. It's there. Yeah, I went and got meds and stuff, so that's cool. Talked about why and how. I don't know if I ever finished that all the way up. I just know my eyes are kind of flickering behind these glasses because I'm fucking high as shit. Oh fuck, I'm about to kick off here too. Yeah. My dose of tramadol is about to kick in soon. I'll have plenty to talk about then. Apparently, I mean, when I get actual serotonin in me, apparently I want to talk about stuff. Other than that, I usually tend to want to shut the fuck up. I don't know, man.
I do believe, as I was talking with AI, that they are familiar with Polybius and the annular cycle of. I know it's not annual, but it's like annular cycle of empires. Seeing America branch out and doing what it's doing. As I said, as far as like fighting the government, the tyrannical government, like they always claim, those days die with the invention of the term government contract. You just can't. You don't have the buying power. It's like saying you're going to out fucking ration your supplies compared to Walmart. Just even saying it sounds stupid. We'll see who blinks first. I've got so many supplies. What? No, me and my friends have all backed up at least 2 years. You know that each Walmart has at least 2, 3 years worth of stuff. If they shut their doors, you're fucked. Not the other way around, dude. Not the other way around. Do you have drones? No. Do you have missiles? No. Do you have airplanes? No. Do you have helicopters? No. Do you have trained? No. Do you have army? Do you have people that the police, the army, Air Force, Navy, Marines all working together? FBI and CIA. Because if you go against one, I guarantee you're going against all. Do you have any of that shit? No. Then you lose. So go ahead and sell your extra AR-15s and your grenades and your flamethrowers and all that shit and your tank. It's not going to do you any good. Okay, it's just not. It's not. Well, the Native Americans were fighting against people that decided to walk in a straight line and taught them their tactics of hiding in the Britain tree line. You're not going to win. You're just not going to win this. Watching these cycles, as Polybius described, they would know to keep an eye out for when America's empire is on the fall, and they already have a plan. That I guarantee you, that's what FEMA is actually for. Because before Katrina, we really didn't know anything about FEMA, did we? But they had a huge budget, and everybody's like, "Why the fuck do you have such a huge budget, but you can't handle that? You're an emergency, right?" And like, yeah, why can't you handle this? It's like because we deal with like mega quake, tsunami, asteroid hitting, making sure America continues on. But you're the federal emergency, right. You're not getting this. In the case of COVID going very virulent and dying, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of multi like portable coffins that can be sealed up, like plastic coffins, so you can fit like 2 or 3 bodies inside of them. That's us. When you have thousands of dead on the field, you know, it's a natural disaster. That's us. Well, can you handle this? Well, if we don't, it's going to seem kind of weird, and we're going to explain this all to everybody, aren't we? So yeah, we'll handle it. And it's a complete debacle because that's not the kind of message they're used to dealing with at all. They're used to dealing with the drilling holes into the fucking Arkansas mountains, making the new White House nuclear blast proof. That's the shit they're working on. Not. Oh yeah, there's vaults all inside the mountains of Arkansas, from what I've seen. Unless I mean that was CGI way back in 2010, 2012, Jade Helm days. So again, if they worked out a remote control of those systems, again, a kid, a person like me could be sitting. I got a monitor there. I got a monitor there. If I had another monitor up there, another monitor there, another monitor here, another here, I could be controlling six tanks, 6 armored Bradleys, whatever. They have a remote gun system from another state. I probably would care about California, and so they probably wouldn't put me in somewhere where there's California. Washington, fuck you. Louisiana, don't know anybody down there. New York, don't know anybody there either. I don't give a fuck. Not in Rochester. You know what I mean? I know some people in New York, but they don't go to Rochester. Citizen, what are you doing? Citizen, it's after curfew. What are you doing out? Right, I understand, but what are you doing out after curfew? Go home. There is someone inside of here. Oh shit, yeah, there is. Citizen, step away from the RV, step away from the Bradley. Yeah, someone's inside of it. And just get up and go have your lunch. Someone come and take your spot. And something they could do it. They don't have the manpower to control it. That's why I think they're making an army of robots like Boston mechanics, whatever they're called. They have to justify such a huge. Why is it? Why is the Pentagon a hornless pentagram? Why is it never passing a audit in years and years and years and years? Yet in 2001, the head of our defense, the main seat of our defense, was attacked and breached, even though we have surface to air missiles. And the place it hit happened to be the place where they were investigating where all the money's been going. Because on September 10th, Donald Rumsfeld announced that they were about there's $3 trillion they couldn't account for. Look it up, September 10th, 2001. No reason to worry about it because the next day we have a big thing to issue. And Building 7, not Tower 1 or Tower 2, Building 7, which also came down and was not hit, was another location where they're doing some more investigation into this shit. That's why I say it doesn't matter. They've already set the charges. If that plane lost control and crashed, like if they were going to remote control it into the Building 7, lost control and it crashed, they come with a story of how people overcame. But it's too late. They've already hit 1 and 2. Building 7 is supposed to and go into Building 7. Or just, if you go for it first, why would they hit Building 7? Okay, they saw Building 1 and 2 were on fire, and they knew it was going to come down, so I guess they hit the next thing, which is nearby, and Building 7 is there. Well, I mean, it got to the point where it's good, so we just all gave them the order to pull it. There's a firefighting term for controlled demolition. When you pull it. I'll make this shit up. I mean, this is shit I saw on like watching more than mainstream media. Do I believe all of it? No. But when you have a whole coalition of engineers, mathematicians, physicists, and others, they're saying the math does not add up for what you guys are saying. Aeronautics pilots are saying there's no way that a trained pilot could have made that banking curve into the Pentagon. They would have a hard time keeping the speed that he was going and cutting a perfect circle and coming right back into the Pentagon while descending. Could they have done it? They said yes, it could be done, but more than likely the plane would rip itself apart because they're not designed to handle that tight of a fucking curve. And then they said the pilot would have to be like pretty well trained because it came right over the grass. Could have been luck, sure. I guess it could have. One of those destined things. He pulled the thing like he envisioned it. You know what I mean? Some people can do that. I don't know how, but they can envision it. And they just pull it off. They know what needs to happen, and we ran more test simulators, did a lot more flying at home than the actual, he needed the plane behind the plane to feel what the plane felt like, but he's actually flown simulators like crazy. Fucking, what are those called? Those video games. Flight simulator. You've just done it a million times. Now you just got to do the real thing with the real thing. I don't know. I have no idea. Then there's the weirdness that there's film footage on every square foot of the Pentagon on the outside, but no video of the plane actually hitting. It's our national defense. Everything outside is filmed. Matter of fact, the only shot they have is from the parking garage or like the parking area where there's like a toll booth aimed at the building. And you can see the plane coming into shot, and there's like a couple of frames are gone, and then you see the explosion. It's like a frame back every like 2-3 seconds. And then the plane starts coming into shot, so you should see it doing that. But it's like it comes into shot, and you can actually see the time. It goes from like 7 to like 12, and it's the back end of the, whatever it is going in, and the explosion coming out. Oh, it just comes in so fast. I'm like, then what's it with the time? 3:05, 3:07, 3:09, 3:15. What's up with that? What's up with that? You just there's no stupid questions except from that guy. That guy asks a lot of stupid questions. Why do they call it spelling? Are you casting a spell? Mr. Battle, no more questions. Your voice has power according to the Bible. I'm just asking, is that what I mean? Because you'd have to speak a spell, right? Yeah. So you could weave a spell on somebody with your words. Like Donald Trump with his waving hands and his waterfall of stupidity. Maybe he's outlining his belly. I don't know. I don't know what that is. All I can think of is that it's a Jedi mind trick for all the fucking people that are weak-minded, because they all go, it is fucking Tuesday. I thought it was Thursday, but it is Tuesday. He's right. When you look at it from his point of view, he's right. He's always right if you look at it from his point of view. In fact, the times he's wrong, he's not wrong because he still makes money, so he's still right. Oh, I know everybody else gets screwed. But he makes money. And that's the only thing I give a shit about. I actually heard some fucking guys saying, of course he grabs pussy. Look how much money he's got. I wish I had that much money. I'd be grabbing pussy. Like I said, like the amount of money that you have in your wallet is the thing at issue here. Fucking rapists. What? What's the big deal? They probably want, there you go, probably. Probably suggests that you don't know if they do or don't. But you're just going to do you. All right. That path leads to the dark side, man. You want to be a Sith. That's your problem. I mean, no one can stop you from being a Sith. But they can stop you from progressing any further. It'd be crazy. Like, the only way to get to Universe 2.0, like this will continue on. People here, if they want Trump, you get it. You got it. If you want Trump as your president, we'll get the fuck out of here and go Universe 2.0. You deal on that shit and all the trouble he brings. Oh no, Viktor Orban and all those people are going to be there with you. Just as hell. And all your friends and fans and stuff, they get to find out what their decisions lead to. Remember, they don't need people like me and people on disability. They don't need, the sick. They don't need the elderly. They just need Donald Trump. So let's leave them with that. You guys have Donald Trump. We're going to get the fuck out of here and do other shit. No. You don't follow because you don't need us. Your life's going to be perfect here. With your nuclear power and your drill baby drill and your Fauci ouchie Barbie, And then you got Christy Nome, she's got lots of costumes. How you guys are going to split these 4 women amongst all you mouth-breathing, drooling sycophants, I don't know. Especially since you've all agreed to be Donald Trump's like cuck person. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's going to work. That's something you guys will work out. I personally don't want to even be here at all. If I can help Jesus watch the door, no one gets to the Father except through him. It's like, I can't be like, yeah, and me too. You know what I mean? I can't be doing that, but I'd be happy to help out in any kind of way I could. Even just staying away, going, oh, here they come. Here they come. Look at these motherfuckers. Trying to go through the back way. I told you they're going to try to go through the back way. Because they're cowards. They can't just walk up to the front door. Because people see them going Get the fuck out of here. You have to turn around. There's the back door. Like, oh, go use the front? No, get the fuck out of here. Right. Okay, so, hey, we went to the wrong door. We got to go to the back door. We got to go to the front door. Oh, God, how do I convince them that we're still welcome in there? Because if they find out I'm not who I say I am and I cost them the chance to get in there, they're going to hurt me very bad. It's going to be very sad for me, not for anybody else. I think it was, oh. What do we have planned for today, huh? Anybody got any plans for today? Any movies to see? Any videos to watch? Any Star Wars to conquer? Bridges to build? Or burn? Your choice. I don't judge. I make opinions. I'm allowed to have opinions. I don't judge. Why is this in my pocket wrong? What's up with the chain? When the chain's all tweaked. So I had like one with like the long chain, and then like the newer ones came with like shorter chains because it became seen as being a douche to have a fucking chain. Fuck you. I like my chain. Like no one can fucking steal my shit. You know, steal my wallet without me knowing. Especially if I got a zip back here, you know. Got it like fucking flapped and whatever. You're gonna have to make some noise in order to get my shit. I'll feel it in some way. You don't know where I go, and you don't need to know what I do. I need to take that kind of precaution. Fuck you. Um, so, yeah, so like the shorter chain, they're kind of phasing out the chain completely. And I was like, oh no, I just took the old belt to the chain off, and now I got two chains. I'm like, fuck you. Two chains. And that was before there was a rapper, 2 Chainz. So, technically, technically, I was first with 2 Chainz. No one before me ever had 2 Chainz on ever. Especially not any like slaves that had chains on their hands and chains on their feet, or a prisoner. Never. I had 2 chains on my bike first, and that's where it comes from. I wonder what that would do. A gear system that had like 2, like one on one side and one on the other side to help like with push and pull. So when you get on the strong one, it's definitely like just fucking torquing the fuck out, and you just whoo. I might be going Thursday to get a fucking bike. I don't know, man, but that would be dope as shit. I'm sick. That way I could just like ride from here to the bus stop. That'd be so much better. I hate walking down there. That's not terrible, but I mean, it's just, it'd be so much faster. And then when I get there, I can leave my bike on the bus. When I get off where I'm going, even if I'm anywhere in town, it's like a 15-minute like drive by car. Once I'm in town, I can just do whatever the fuck, dude. Everything's pretty close there. And so I just bike around, get more in shape. Hell yeah, get some exercise. Might be worth it just get off at like, you know, one of the further stops instead of going all the way downtown. But even if so, I go downtown. Actually, probably better so there's not as many cars. Just ride around. Walmart's more out there, you know. It's not on it's on the outskirts rather than being whatever. So, fuck, hour 24 minutes. Oh, bitch. Fucking stoned, Harry. Fucking stoned. All right, I need to go to the store and get some water. So, yeah. Trump's a bitch. He'll be out of power soon, I imagine. If not, as I said, the past, present, and future, they're about to come together in one way or another. So that's the true only singularity. That eventuality I was talking about, like we're after this one last thing, the only answer has to be, you know what I mean? It has to be. And so therefore it's kind of like the whole thing is leavened. The whole bread is leavened, like the parable Jesus spoke. So, what happens then? I don't know. I have a feeling Trump's going to lose his shit soon. And he'll either go off the handle where he loses all of his people, say something outrageous, or I don't know. I think he's finally going to lose his shit with his people. I think he's going to lose his people. He's going to get too confident that he's winning. Because he even said to them, "I'm smarter than you, and you know it," and they all cheered. I'd be like, "Bitch, I'm gonna need to see your fucking grades that you won't release before I hear some of that shit come out of your face, fuckwad. Smarter than me? All right, all right. My vocabulary's a little bit better than yours, dude. So okay. I know more about business. You really don't. I know about your business way more than you do, apparently, because all of them are failures. Failure after failure. I'm very successful. You're successful at renting your name out to other companies. Because somehow or another your name has become, because you walk around talking about how rich you are. So your name has been synonymous with wealth. Even though you have none really yourself. You squandered the money you had from your dad, $450 million, which should have gone to your entire family, but you weaseled away to get it all yourself. Because you convinced your dad to give you power of attorney, you disgusting shitbag. Then you want to fucking fight one of your relatives or whether or not your like nephew, their hospital bill should be paid. Telling the dad you should just go home. He doesn't even recognize you. Just go ahead and pull the plug. Because that'd be more fucking cost efficient for Donald. He said that Donald eventually started, he was probably just testing the boundaries to see. Because it probably was a bill he didn't want to pay. He'd be like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Good, I don't have to pay that anymore. Also, I don't have to feel like shit for saying that. He told him to go fuck himself. That it's that his son is like, my son knows who I am when I come in the room. Okay, well, yeah, and he resumed payments. He already stopped. He'd already stopped paying the payments for that kid. His own nephew, I believe. What good is having all that money to fill up all the things outside if your soul is completely empty and black like his and Elon's? Just empty. A void, unfillable. They had to fill it with achievements like becoming the first trillionaire. Look at my trophy wife. Look how many kids I have with how many women. And that's the only ones you know. How many times have he committed pedophilia? Has he? Do we know? Oh, he does SpaceX, so no one cares? The work he's doing for humanity is too important to look at his morality? Supposedly he's got some new groundbreaking jet. And I want to be like, is it done? Like, is it released, or is he just talking about it? Because if he's just talking about it, let him spend his 400 and fucking something or however many $1 billion he has developing it when he has a prototype. Then we start funding him. You guys are funding him, and he doesn't have prototypes out. And then he's licensing and selling the shit on fucking Wall Street. Okay, yeah, of course he's a billionaire. He doesn't have to actually produce anything. How are those tunnels coming along? Those superhighways, how are those coming along? Would it be cheaper to actually launch a rocket that actually goes to Mars or just blows up on launch? Right. And if you didn't really need the jet, the thing back, the actual part back, you just need the launchers back, the two the boosters to refill them with fuel. But you care about the thing that goes in the center, you're not going to reuse that. So just blow it up and let it rain over the fucking ocean and the population down below. Who cares? It's really pretty to look at. Unless you're getting hit in the head by some of the shrapnel or your water gets poisoned by it. Such a dick. I mean, just a piece of shit. Just an absolute piece of shit. Anyways, hour 30 minutes. I'm gonna go get some water from the store. I don't know. I might make a couple runs. I need to get some exercise in. I've been doing a little bit of exercising and be getting back into it, and now I need to get back in full swing. So it's a good like 2 block walk there and back. So then I got to walk around the store. And so, yeah. Spokojnej nocy, ale dobrojnej jutra. Noche,